Tonight, a warning for valley fishermen. Know the forecast before you go out onto the water.
It's a message one Valley Fire Department wants you to remember. Channel 5's Daisy Martinez to join us to explain why.
The Brownsville Fire Department responds to about one water rescue each year. This year, they've already had 3 water rescues in the Laguna Madre as a cold front moves in. Rescuers tell us not even the most experienced boaters should test Mother Nature. This is the 17th year Pedro Perez travels from San Antonio to Port Isabel for a weekend of fishing. Today, he and his fishing buddies decided to call it a day as the winds picked up.
It was too rough. We didn't want to go out there.
Perez says he learned his lesson years ago not to go boating on the Laguna Madre when a cold front rolls in.
Years ago we did, and only the good Lord brought us back that day.
Really?
It was that bad.
What happened?
The weather just, boom, hit us, and we were too far out.
Perez made it back to shore safely. Brownsville Fire Assistant Chief Cesar Pedraza says not all fishermen make a safe decision in these weather conditions. Some are just caught off guard. As of January, the Brownsville Fire Department's made 3 water rescues. 2 kayakers stranded in San Martin Lake, and most recently, a man stuck hundreds of feet from shore in South Bay when his boat started taking on water.
Typically, the cold fronts that approach will change the speed and direction of the wind. That sometimes catches the boaters off guard. They may have paddled out further than expected, and we're traveling with the wind at the beginning of their trip, and now coming back, they're traveling against the wind, making it that much harder to get back to their starting point.
Many dangers lurk in these waters if a fisherman gets stranded, like sharp oyster beds, sharks, and submerged fishing lines. Even the darkness is a threat. During one of the latest kayak rescues, the Brownsville Fire Department had to use its drone's infrared capabilities to find the stranded fishermen.
A healthy respect for the water is always important. Be familiar with the weather, be familiar with your equipment, and be familiar with your routes.
This avid fisherman checks the NOAA forecast before he goes fishing. He understands why some fishermen can get in trouble.
When they're biting, you don't feel the weather. The only time you really feel the weather is when nothing's happening.
But as Perez learned,
It's just not worth it. You know, that tomorrow be another day, or this afternoon, the wind's supposed to change.
when these conditions hit, it's better to fish on another day. Assistant Chief Pedraza tells us it's important to have a boating plan as well as emergency equipment like flares and even a radio. Those could be the difference between life and death in these types of cases. He says even in the water, when people get into an emergency situation, they can call 911. Live from the Cameron County Newsroom, Daisy Martinez, Channel 5 News at 6.